Well, here we are, day 2 of starting Comanche Princess under saddle. I don't know if you can see outside, but it's a wet and miserable day, and so we may not be doing very much. So just while we drive out to the farm to see her, thought I would fill you in on just some background information about where she's at, how we've got there, and what we're doing a little bit about her. I should have said yesterday, which I didn't, that she has been completely ground broke. What I mean by that is that she accepts the halter, she leads nicely, you can touch her anywhere on her body. She's been flexed to the left and the right and lunged left and right, backed up, yielded the hindquarters. All of those basics that you do before you actually get on a horse. She's done all of that work little bit by little bit over the last couple of years, so really since she was a foal, just to get her prepared for what we're going to be doing now. I should also say that all of that type of thing has been done in the paddock with her, so we haven't taken her into any round pen and done anything there, but just worked always in the paddock where she happens to be grazing. She's got a paddock to herself now. I should have also said perhaps that this is the first time that she's ever been in a paddock on her own. She has always been in with at least one other horse, quite often 2 or 3 other horses. And another key aspect I think worth bearing in mind is that in being in a paddock with other horses, she has been well socialized by the older horses. And I think that's a point to make as well, is that she hasn't just been in a paddock with other young horses, she's been in a paddock with older horses. And I think that's quite important for the socialization of a horse. Quite often you will see mobs of young horses, young fillies all grouped together, young colts all grouped together, and there's not much real socialization going on for them because there are no adults in the paddock with them, and so there's not much discipline. There is squabbling for hierarchy, but not much in the way of actual herd discipline apart from what they instinctively do for themselves. But when you've got the older horses in there, I think it really does help. I think the other thing is, you would have seen from the video yesterday that she was pretty relaxed to be in the paddock on her own. She was not particularly nappy, she wasn't hanging out with or trying to call out to all the other horses or run around frantic for another horse. I think that's a function of having spent her entire life with other horses. She's developed no separation anxiety about being taken away or put on her own, because it just hasn't happened. I will be curious to see how she goes over the next little while now that she is in a paddock of her own, whether she develops any nappiness or whether she remains quite content to be on her own. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it. Today we will be doing, not sure what we'll be doing given the weather. I'm not inclined to be working outside, so we might bring her into the stable and do some work there. She's never been in the stable either, so that'll be a new experience for her. I don't think it will be of any great concern. She travelled so well in the float yesterday that I don't think the confined space of a stable will ruffle her feathers in any way. We might give her a brush, we might tidy up her mane a bit, might put on the bareback pad, see how she goes with that. Bit in the mouth and see how she goes with that. Just introduce her to the bit and the bridle. They're all things we can do in, out of the rain. Unless of course the weather clears, in which case we will go into the round pen and start working in there.